This is Yard Talk, and I'm gonna look at I'm wearing my new Nike Freeze. And I got those colors specifically because they look digital. They look like the code in the computer or the matrix or like what you see inside a DMT trip, you know. And then to balance things out, I'm wearing prison pants. They're a little dirty, you see. But I got those at Alcatraz when I visited the prison a few years ago, like 10 years ago. I don't know how long ago, but I used to be obsessed with prisons. And then like I used to like have this dream about like turning my room into like a prison cell. That project never became fulfilled, but I got those, you know, so I can walk around like that. And anyway, so I guess I want to talk about the female psyche today, the female mind, how it's different from the masculine mind. Well, when a girl says something, she doesn't always mean it literally, because for females, their core sense of being is the moment to moment emotions or sensibilities that they feel underneath. They don't really care about language or take language as seriously as men do. Like when men say something, they swarm by their words. It's like more one-dimensional. With language, it's like, okay, that's it. Those words are it for a man, right? Of course, I'm generalizing, but you know what I'm saying. But for a female, words are too static for them. You know, their deep sense of core being, as I said, is feelings and emotions, and those really can't be captured through words, right? Like I said many times before, you use the word love. That's the only word that's static, you know, is dead. It's a dead container, little box. But the feeling of love, the emotion that you attribute with love, it's so much more dynamic, right? So you can say that men more or less live in this one-dimensional world of words, and females, they have at least two different tracks: the track of the language and the track of emotions and feelings and imaginations, that they all don't always go together. I guess I'm gonna use an analogy here to sort of demonstrate what I mean. The difference between a female mind and a male mind and how they use language is sort of like the difference between David Lynch's films and Quentin Tarantino's films. You know, when David Lynch makes a film, dialogues and scripts and even the story is not that important to him. It's just secondary tool for him to perpetuate the core value of his film, which is the artistic and aesthetic sensibilities and the kind of feels that you get from watching the film, the indescribable feels, right? The sort of things that you just get or you don't. That's what David Lynch is about. That's why he's more abstract, right? But Tarantino, the dialogue or the script is almost everything to him. Like, it's what drives the story forward, you know. He's a writer director, and David Lynch is a visual or artistic emotional director. So in short, David Lynch is a feminine filmmaker and Tarantino is a masculine filmmaker. You can read a Tarantino film script and get a large gist of what he wants to communicate with you, and you can get the large gist of the film through just reading the script. But David Lynch, if you read David Lynch's scripts, right, you're not gonna get anything out of his films. Whatever he's trying to communicate with you, you're gonna get nothing out of it if you read his script. Anyway, so, and that doesn't mean that David Lynch is gay. It's quite the opposite. David Lynch is a womanizer. Like, I read a lot about his biographies and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure he fucks more women than Tarantino does. Tarantino probably just, you know, sucks their toes and shit. But David Lynch knows how to fuck women because he knows how to get inside their minds through his own female mind. And that is really the best way to crack open the vagina. David Lynch even said it in his biography that he is fascinated by the female psyche. If you watch his films, they're always about the female psyche and how fucked up it is, right? And I can relate to that a little bit because I think I have a more feminine mind than masculine. Like, I think my mind is pretty feminine. Sometimes I feel like I work out just so that I can build this castle around my girly mind. You know, when people ask me how I get with girls, like I treat girls as like they're like my bros, or you know, there's so to me there's no like bros of a host or only like hosts of a host, because I don't really, most of my friends are girls. You know, I treat them like they're one of my kind, and most of the times when I talk to girls, they're always surprised that I can actually communicate with them about the things that they care about. They're like, the most guys that I go on dates with, they don't really say shit. They don't really say anything, or they talk about their work or cars, that shit I don't give a fuck about, right? But then like I don't try to talk about girl shit. Like I just talk to them as, like I said, as like they're my friends. So like, you know, so that's why I really can't rationalize when people ask me how I, you know, how I score girls. I can't rationalize it because there's no method. I just, you know, go with the flow, moment to moment feelings along with that person, that girl. And I too agree with David Lynch that the female psyche is very interesting. It's just more fluid. It's just softer, and you can manipulate, not manipulate, you can mold it into different forms. Literally, because if you think about it, I read the book Sex at Dawn. In there, there's a really interesting chapter or whatever on how on the female sexuality, and the author argues that the female sexuality is a lot more elastic. It's easier to bend. Like you can literally not train, but like you can make a girl, or a girl can make herself from a straight person with your normal, you know, heterosexual, you know, sexual orientation to bisexual a lot easier than a man, or they're more malleable in experiencing with different kind of sexuality. Like you can get a girl to accept, you know, a gangbang or a threesome or to lick another girl's pussy more than you can get easier than you can get a guy to suck another guy's dick, you know. And I think that's really interesting. And then people say, you know, why are all the creatives men then? You know, the female psyche is so imaginative, so emotional. How come all the artists, so many artists are men? Well, I think that's because females are already artists. They're already creators. What do they create? They create the most important, the most complex things in the universe. They create human beings, and most importantly, they mold the human mind. When a mother gives birth to a child, when he raises him, he's not just feeding that baby like milk, like physically. She's creating a sort of consciousness. She's molding a particular kind of mind. And that is a creative process, not just the creative act of giving birth, but to actually raise a child. It's a really complex duty to do, to, you know, mold and create a consciousness. So females already have their creative urges satisfied by, you know, making minds. And guys, they don't have that outlet, so they have to turn into the arts, or, you know, whatever, and I don't know, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's really interesting. And back to what I was saying about a girl not saying really what she's feeling or what's on her mind with language. It's not like they're liars. They're not really lying to you, because a lot of guys think that girls are a bunch of liars, but they're feeling something real underneath. But like, for example, if you ask a girl if she wants your last piece of pizza, all right, do you want a last piece of pizza? She says no. And when she says no, she might not literally mean that she doesn't want pizzas, or like it might have nothing to do with pizzas. It has to do maybe with what she's feeling, what she doesn't feel when she says no to you to go to the movies, go to a pizza. It might just have to do with what she's not feeling from you at that particular moment that you asked her. You're right, and 95% of the time it's just about approval, or about like you showing love to confirm that you love her. So like, just like, you know, draw her over her face and like, you know, kiss her violently, or like give her a hug and ask her if she wants pizza again, and then she'll eat it. Even though she's not hungry, she'll still eat it, because she's getting that feel from you, right? Anyway, so yeah, that's the female and